Welcome, friend. Tonight we walk a quiet path together, you and I. The day has carried you through many moments, many thoughts, many small decisions, and now, here you are. The world outside has grown still, the lights have dimmed, there is nothing left to do but rest. Let your body sink deeper into wherever you are lying. Feel the weight of your limbs releasing into the softness beneath you. Your shoulders can drop now. Your jaw can soften. There is no one watching, no one waiting, no one needing anything from you in this moment. This is your time. This is your breath. This is your peace. Somewhere in the distance, you might imagine the soft sound of rain, not a storm. Nothing urgent, just the gentle rhythm of water meeting stone. It has been falling for centuries, this rain. It fell on ancient temples and quiet gardens. It fell on monks walking slowly through mountain passes. And tonight, in some way, it falls for you. The candle flickers. Perhaps you see it in your mind, that single flame dancing in a room of shadows. It asks nothing of you. It simply burns, quietly, the way all things that are true simply exist without effort. You do not have to try to be peaceful tonight. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. It is already here, beneath the noise of the day, beneath the thoughts still drifting through your mind. It waits for you the way the shore waits for the tide. Breathe in slowly. Let the air fill your chest without forcing it, and as you exhale, imagine releasing something you have been holding. It might be a worry, it might be a memory, it might be nothing you can name. Let it go anyway. The night will carry it away. There is an old tradition in certain mountain monasteries. When a new student arrives, they are not given teachings right away. They are not handed books or assigned practices. Instead, they are asked to sit quietly for 3 days. Just to sit, just to breathe, just to notice what arises and what falls away. Most students find this difficult at first. They want to learn, they want to progress, they want to do something. But the teacher knows that the deepest learning begins with stillness. Before we can understand anything else, we must first understand how to simply be. Tonight, you are that student, and the only thing asked of you is presence, not effort, not achievement, just the gentle willingness to be here, breathing, listening, resting. The stories I will share with you tonight are old. They have been passed down through generations, whispered in temple halls, written on scrolls now faded with age. They are not meant to teach you anything you do not already know. They are meant to remind you of what you have always carried within. There was once a monastery high in the mountains, where the winters came early and stayed long. Snow would cover the paths for months at a time. The monks who lived there learned to move slowly, to conserve their energy, to find warmth in simple things. Among them was an old calligrapher named Master Shen. He had lived in the monastery for over 60 years. His hands, once steady and sure, had grown frail with time. His eyes, once sharp enough to paint the finest details, had clouded over until he could barely see the paper before him. Yet every morning, without fail, Master Shen would rise before dawn. He would prepare his ink with the same care he had used as a young man. He would set out his brushes, his paper, his small stone weight to hold the corners down, and then he would paint. The younger monks watched him with a mixture of respect and confusion. They could see that his characters were no longer precise. The strokes wandered and trembled. The proportions were sometimes off. By any standard of technical skill, his work had deteriorated. One winter morning, a young monk named Lin gathered the courage to approach him. He knelt beside the old master and watched as Shen dipped his brush into the dark ink. "Master Shen," Lin said gently, "why do you continue to paint when you can no longer see?" The old man did not pause. His brush moved across the paper in a slow, wavering line. He seemed to be listening to something the young monk could not hear. When the stroke was complete, Master Shen set down his brush. He turned his clouded eyes toward Lin, though he could not truly see him. "Tell me," he said, "when you were a child, did you learn to walk so that others would admire your walking?" Lin considered this. "No," he said finally. "I walked because walking was what my body wished to do. And when you breathe," the master continued, "do you breathe so that others will praise the quality of your breath?" "No," Lin admitted. "I breathe because breath is life itself." Master Shen nodded slowly. His wrinkled face held the faintest trace of a smile. "The brush moves," he said, "because movement is its nature. The ink flows because flowing is what ink does. I am only here to witness. Whether the characters are beautiful or not, that was never the point. The point is presence. The point is the moment when brush meets paper and something comes into being." Lin sat with this for a long while. Outside, the snow continued to fall. Inside, the candle burned low. "But Master," he said at last, "if the result does not matter, why do anything at all?" Master Shen laughed softly. It was a gentle sound, like wind through bamboo. "You are asking the wrong question," he said. "You ask why do anything, but look at the world around you. Does the snow ask why it falls? Does the river ask why it flows to the sea? There is no why. There is only what is happening in this very moment." He picked up his brush again. His hand trembled slightly as he dipped it into the ink. "When we try to control the outcome," he said, "we suffer. When we try to make something beautiful, we tighten, we grip, we force, and the beauty we seek slips away like water through clenched fingers." His brush touched the paper and began to move. "But when we surrender to the moment," he continued, "when we let go of what should be and simply allow what is, something unexpected happens. The brush knows where to go. The ink knows how to spread, and we become witnesses to our own lives rather than struggling masters of them." Lin watched as the old man painted. The strokes were indeed imperfect. They wobbled and thinned in places, but there was something else in them too. Something Lin had never seen in all the technically perfect calligraphy he had studied. There was life, there was breath, there was the unmistakable presence of a human being fully inhabiting a single moment. When Master Shen finished, he set down his brush and sat back. His clouded eyes gazed at nothing and everything. "Perfection," he said quietly, "is not the absence of flaws. It is the complete acceptance of what is. When we can hold our imperfections with the same tenderness we hold our gifts, we become whole, and wholeness is far more beautiful than perfection ever was." Lin bowed deeply. He understood now why the other monks spoke of Master Shen with such reverence. It was not his skill they honoured, it was his surrender. That evening, Lin returned to his own room. He sat before his own desk, his own brushes, his own pristine paper. For the first time in years, he did not try to paint something beautiful. He simply let his hand move. He simply let the ink flow. And in the imperfect characters that emerged, he found something he had been seeking his whole life. He found peace. Let yourself breathe with this story now. Let it settle into you like rain settling into the earth. There is no need to analyse it or understand it fully. The understanding will come when it comes, in its own time, in its own way. The teaching is simple. We suffer when we grip too tightly to how things should be. We find peace when we open our hands and accept what is. This is not resignation. This is not giving up. It is something far more powerful. It is trust. Trust that the breath will continue without your effort. Trust that the heart will beat on its own. Trust that life knows how to unfold even when you are not watching. You do not have to control everything. You never did. The illusion of control was always just that, an illusion. Think for a moment about where in your life you grip too tightly. Where do you struggle against what is? Where do you insist that reality match your expectations? These are not questions that need answers tonight. Simply let them float through your mind like clouds crossing a wide sky. Notice them. Let them pass. The rain continues outside. The candle continues to burn. Your breath continues to rise and fall. And in this continuity, there is profound peace. There is nothing you need to fix tonight. There is nothing you need to solve. The problems of your life will still be there tomorrow, and you can tend to them then. But right now, in this moment, you are invited to simply rest, to simply be. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. Let your body soften even more. Let your shoulders drop a little lower. Let your face relax, your forehead smooth, your jaw unclench. There is no need for tension here. There is no threat. There is only this moment and this breath and the gentle sound of stillness. In another time, in another land, there lived a woman named May who tended a small garden behind her home. The garden was nothing remarkable to look at. It held a few vegetables, some herbs, a single plum tree that bore fruit once a year. But May loved this garden with her whole heart. Every morning she would rise before the sun and walk among her plants. She would speak to them softly, checking the moisture of the soil, removing weeds that had appeared overnight. She knew each plant by name, by character, by temperament. Some needed more water, some needed more shade. She attended to each according to its nature. Her neighbours often wondered why May spent so much time on such a modest patch of earth. She could have worked more, earned more, acquired more. But May seemed content in her small world, moving slowly through her days, her hands always touching soil, her eyes always watching for new growth. One spring, a terrible drought came to the region. The rains that usually fell in abundance simply did not come. Week after week, the sky remained clear and the earth grew parched. Wells that had never run dry began to fail. Rivers that had flowed for generations slowed to a trickle. May watched her garden struggle. Despite her careful attention, the plants began to wilt. The leaves turned yellow and curled at the edges. The plum tree, which had just begun to flower, dropped its blossoms prematurely. She did what she could. She carried water from the distant well, bucket by bucket. She created shade with old cloth. She spoke to her plants more softly than ever, as if her words alone could sustain them. But it was not enough. One by one, the plants died. First the tomatoes, then the beans, then the delicate herbs she had nurtured for years. Finally, even the plum tree surrendered. Its leaves fell in a single afternoon, covering the ground like tears. May stood in her garden that evening, surrounded by loss. Everything she had loved and tended was gone. The soil that had once been rich and dark now looked grey and exhausted. Her neighbour, an old woman named Sue, came to the fence and looked over at the destruction. "I am sorry for your loss," Sue said. "All that work, all that care, for nothing." May was quiet for a long moment. Then she knelt down and placed her hands on the dry earth. She could feel its warmth, its hardness, its thirst. "Not for nothing," she said finally. "I learned to love something fully, knowing it would one day end. I learned to give without expecting to receive, and now I am learning how to let go." Sue did not understand. "How can you be so calm?" she asked. "You have lost everything." May looked up at her neighbour with eyes that held no bitterness, no despair. "I have lost my garden," she said, "but I have not lost what my garden taught me. The plants came from the earth, and they have returned to the earth. The water came from the sky, and it will come again. Nothing is truly lost. It only changes form." She stood and brushed the dry soil from her hands. "Next year," she said, "when the rains return, I will plant again, and I will love again, just as fully, just as freely, knowing that loss will come again too. This is the way of all things. We cannot keep anything forever, but we can love completely in every moment we have." Sue was silent. She had never thought of loss this way. She had always feared it, fought against it, tried to hold on to everything she had. May smiled gently and returned to her home. That night, she slept more peacefully than she had in weeks. Not because her grief was gone, but because she had stopped fighting it. She had let it move through her like wind moves through an open window. And in that openness, she had found a strange and unexpected freedom. When the rains finally came, months later, May planted again. Her garden grew back, different than before, but alive, and every time she tended it, she remembered the drought, not with sadness, but with gratitude. The loss had taught her what she could not have learned any other way. It had taught her that love does not require permanence, that joy does not require guarantees, that peace is found not in holding on, but in the willingness to let go. Let this teaching wash over you now. Let it settle into the places where you have been holding on too tightly to things that cannot stay. We all do this. We all grip. We all fear loss. But loss comes anyway, whether we fear it or not. The invitation is to love anyway, to give anyway, to show up fully for this moment, knowing it will pass, knowing everything will eventually change, and finding freedom in that very impermanence. Your breath rises and falls, your heart beats on. These too will one day stop, but not tonight. Tonight there is only this breath, this moment, this gentle resting. The candle has burned lower now. The room has grown darker, and somewhere in the distance, the rain continues its ancient song. It does not grieve for the rain that fell yesterday. It does not worry about the rain that will fall tomorrow. It simply falls here now, complete in itself. You can be like the rain, complete in this moment, needing nothing to be added or taken away. Simply being what you are, where you are, as you are. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. There is a monastery far to the east where the monks practice a particular form of meditation. They do not sit in silence as many others do. Instead, they walk. Slowly, deliberately, they move through the gardens and along the covered walkways. Each step is placed with complete attention. Each breath is counted. Each moment is noticed fully before it passes. These walking monks have discovered something that sitting alone cannot teach. They have discovered that stillness is not about the body, it is about the mind. A person can sit perfectly motionless and still be churning inside with thoughts and worries and plans. And a person can be walking, moving, even working, and still be utterly at peace. The key is attention. The key is presence. The key is being fully here, wherever here happens to be. One of these monks, a young man named Takeshi, struggled greatly with his practice at first. He wanted so badly to find peace that he could never find it. His wanting itself was the obstacle. Each time he walked, he would check inside himself. Am I peaceful yet? Have I reached it? And each time he checked, he found himself further from what he sought. His teacher, an elderly woman named Abbess Kiyomi, watched him struggle for many months. She said nothing. She knew that some lessons cannot be taught with words, they must be lived. One autumn afternoon, Takeshi was walking in the garden when a single leaf fell from a maple tree. It drifted down slowly, turning gently in the air, catching the light. Without thinking, Takeshi stopped walking. His full attention became absorbed in the falling leaf. He watched it turn and float, and finally come to rest on the moss below. In that moment, he was not thinking about peace. He was not checking his progress. He was not struggling or striving. He was simply watching a leaf fall. And in that simple watching, he found what he had been seeking all along. He stood there for a long time after the leaf had settled. Tears came to his eyes, though he could not have said why. He felt something open inside him, something that had been closed for as long as he could remember. That evening, Abbess Kiyomi found him sitting in the garden, looking at the fallen leaf. "You have stopped seeking," she said quietly. Takeshi nodded. "I was looking in the wrong place," he said. "I thought peace was somewhere else. I thought I had to earn it, achieve it, become worthy of it. But it was here all along, in the leaf, in the moss, in my own breath." Abbess Kiyomi smiled. "Peace is never somewhere else," she said. "It is always exactly where you are. The only question is whether you notice it. And you cannot notice what is here if you are busy looking for what is elsewhere." Takeshi understood now. The seeking itself had been the obstacle. The striving itself had been the suffering. When he finally stopped trying to get somewhere, he discovered he had already arrived. This is perhaps the deepest teaching there is. We spend so much of our lives trying to get somewhere else. We believe that peace and happiness are waiting for us in the future. When I finish this project, when I solve this problem, when I have enough money, when I find the right relationship, we push the present moment aside in our rush toward a future that never comes. But the future never comes. There is only ever now. Each moment we experience is the present moment. When the future arrives, it arrives as the present. And if we have spent our whole lives waiting for the future, we will never actually live. The invitation is to stop waiting, to stop seeking, to look around at where you actually are and to find the peace that is already present. It may be hidden beneath layers of thought and worry and planning, but it is there. It has always been there. Like the sky behind the clouds, it waits patiently for you to notice. Breathe in, breathe out, feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. This is it. This is the present moment. This is where peace lives. You do not have to become anything other than what you are. You do not have to fix yourself or improve yourself or transform yourself. You simply have to stop running and allow yourself to be here, fully, completely, just as you are. The rain outside has softened now to a gentle mist. The candle has burned down to a low glow, and you are still here, breathing, listening, resting. There is an old story about a temple that caught fire in the middle of the night. The monks who lived there woke to the smell of smoke and the crackle of flames. They rushed outside, carrying what they could: sacred texts, ritual objects, anything they could grab in those desperate moments. The fire burned through the night. By morning, the temple was gone. Only charred beams and ash remained where generations of monks had lived and prayed and sought enlightenment. The head monk, an ancient man named Master Sorin, stood before the ruins as the sun rose. His robes were singed, his face blackened with soot. Around him, the younger monks wept openly. Years of work, centuries of tradition, reduced to nothing. One of the monks approached Master Sorin. His voice was thick with grief. "Master," he said, "how can this be? We devoted ourselves to the Dharma. We lived pure lives. Why would the universe take our temple from us?" Master Sorin was quiet for a long moment. He looked at the smoking ruins, at the grief-stricken faces of his students, at the new day dawning pink and gold above them. Finally, he spoke. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "Did the temple belong to us?" he asked. "Or did we belong to the temple?" The monk did not understand. He waited. Master Sorin continued. "We came here as young men. We lived here. We practiced here. And now the temple is gone. But are we gone? Have our lives been erased?" He gestured at the ruins. "The building is burned, but the Dharma is not a building. The teachings are burned, but wisdom is not paper and ink. What we truly seek cannot be destroyed by fire, because it was never made of material things." "But Master," the monk protested, "where will we live? Where will we practice?" Master Sorin pointed at the ground beneath their feet. "Here, where we are standing. The practice is not in the temple. The practice is in the mind. The practice is in the breath. You can sit in the most beautiful hall in the world and never touch awakening. And you can sit in the ashes of loss and find perfect peace." He knelt down and picked up a handful of the ash and charred wood. "This too is the Dharma," he said. "Impermanence is the Dharma. Loss is the Dharma. The teaching is not separate from what is happening. What is happening is the teaching." He let the ash fall through his fingers. "If we can find peace only when things go well," he said, "then we have not truly found peace. True peace embraces all things, the beautiful and the terrible, the birth and the death, the building and the burning. When we stop dividing the world into what should happen and what should not happen, we find that everything belongs. Everything is part of the whole." The young monk looked at the ruins. For the first time, he did not see only destruction. He saw transformation. The wood had become smoke. The paper had become ash. Nothing was truly gone. It had only changed form. "And us?" the monk asked. "What do we do now?" Master Sorin smiled. "Now we sweep the ashes. Now we clear the ground. Now we decide whether to rebuild or move on. There is always something to do. But we do it without desperation. We do it without clinging to what was. We do it with open hearts, ready to receive whatever comes next." The monks worked all that day, clearing the debris, and as they worked, something unexpected happened. They began to sing, old songs from their practice, rising up through the smoke, filling the air with sound. They had lost everything, and yet, somehow, they had found something too. They had found that peace does not depend on circumstances, that freedom does not require conditions, that the heart can be opened even in the midst of great loss. This is a profound teaching for the night. We all carry fear of loss. We all grip tightly to the things and people and circumstances that bring us comfort. But impermanence is not a punishment. It is the nature of all things. Everything changes, everything transforms, and our suffering comes not from the change itself, but from our resistance to it. When we can hold loss with the same tenderness we hold gain, we become free. When we can bow to the burning as well as the building, we find a peace that nothing can disturb. This does not mean we do not grieve. Grief is natural. Grief is the heart's response to love meeting loss. But beneath the grief, beneath the sadness, there can be a stillness that holds it all. A wide, spacious awareness that says, this too is part of life. This too belongs. Breathe gently now. Let your body soften even further. Let your mind grow quiet. If these teachings bring you peace, you are welcome to subscribe and return whenever you wish to rest. There is no hurry tonight. There is nowhere you need to be. The only invitation is to be here, fully present, fully resting. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. In a mountain village, there once lived a potter named Hiroshi. He had spent 40 years at his wheel, shaping clay into bowls and cups and plates. His hands knew the clay intimately. They could feel when the pressure was right, when the water was needed, when the form was ready to be released. Hiroshi was considered a master by those who knew pottery. His work was prized throughout the region. People would travel great distances to purchase one of his pieces, but Hiroshi never saw himself as a master. He saw himself as a student, still learning, still exploring the mysteries of his craft. One day, a young woman came to his workshop. She wanted to study with him. She had tried to learn pottery on her own, but had failed again and again. Her bowls collapsed. Her cups were lopsided. Nothing she made seemed worthy of keeping. Hiroshi agreed to teach her, but his teaching was not what she expected. He did not give her techniques or formulas. He did not correct her mistakes or show her the right way. Instead, he simply worked beside her day after day, letting her watch. The young woman grew frustrated. "When would you teach me?" she asked one afternoon. "I have been here for 3 months, and you have taught me nothing." Hiroshi continued to work his clay. His hands moved with quiet confidence, shaping a bowl that seemed to grow naturally from the spinning wheel. "What would you like me to teach you?" he asked. "How to make beautiful pottery," she said. "How to stop making mistakes. How to become a master like you." Hiroshi smiled gently and stopped his wheel. He looked at the young woman with kind eyes. "There is nothing I can teach you," he said, "that you cannot learn by watching and doing. The clay will teach you. Your hands will teach you. Your failures will teach you most of all." "But I fail all the time," she protested. "I am sick of failing." Hiroshi nodded. "Failure is painful," he agreed, "but it is also the only way forward. Each time your bowl collapses, you learn something about pressure and moisture and timing that no words could ever convey. Each mistake is not a step backward, it is a step forward in disguise." He picked up a lump of clay and held it out to her. "The difference between you and me," he said, "is not talent. It is not some special gift I was born with. The only difference is that I have failed more times than you have. I have collapsed more bowls. I have ruined more clay. and with each failure I have learned. That is all. The young woman took the clay. She felt its cool weight in her hands. Mastery, Hiroshi continued, is not the absence of failure. It is the willingness to keep showing up, to keep trying, to keep meeting the clay with fresh eyes each day. The moment you stop fearing failure is the moment you become free, and freedom is what makes beautiful pottery possible. The young woman worked in silence after that, but something had shifted inside her. She no longer dreaded her mistakes. She began to welcome them, to study them, to see them as teachers rather than enemies. And slowly, so slowly she barely noticed, her bowls began to hold their shape. Her cups began to balance. Her work began to carry the quiet confidence that comes not from never failing, but from having failed so many times that failure no longer holds power. This teaching is for all of us who fear falling short. We all carry the weight of our failures. We all remember the times we could not do what we wanted to do, be who we wanted to be. And too often, these memories become chains that hold us back from trying again. But what if failure is not the enemy? What if failure is the path itself? Every person you admire, every master in every field, has failed more than you can imagine. Their greatness comes not from avoiding failure, but from embracing it, from being willing to fall down again and again, and to rise each time with a little more wisdom. Tonight, let yourself release any shame you carry about your failures. Let yourself see them differently. Each one was a teacher. Each one brought you a little closer to who you are becoming. There are no wrong turns on this journey, only learning, only growth. Breathe in this truth. Breathe out the old story of not being good enough. You are good enough. You have always been good enough. The journey continues, not in spite of your failures, but because of them. The night grows deeper now. The rain has stopped, and a vast silence has taken its place. Perhaps you can imagine looking up at a sky full of stars, countless points of light scattered across the darkness like seeds waiting to grow. Each of those stars is a sun. Each sun may have worlds circling around it, and on some of those worlds, perhaps there are beings lying in their beds, gazing up at their own sky, wondering about the meaning of it all. We are so small in this vast universe, and yet, within us, there is something that can hold the whole of it. Consciousness itself is vast. The awareness that looks out through your eyes is the same awareness that has looked out through every pair of eyes that ever lived. We are not separate from the universe. We are the universe, looking at itself, wondering at itself, loving itself. This is not philosophy. This is direct experience. Close your eyes and feel the space within you. Feel the thoughts rising and falling like waves on an ocean. The ocean is not the waves. The waves appear on the surface, but the ocean remains vast and still beneath. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which thoughts appear. You are not your emotions. You are the spaciousness that holds all emotions, allows them to move, and remains undisturbed by their passing. This is what the ancient teachers pointed to. This is what all the parables and practices are designed to reveal. There is a stillness at the center of your being that nothing can touch. Events come and go, pleasures rise and fade, pains arrive and depart, but the awareness itself remains. It was here before your first memory. It will be here after your last breath. It is the one constant in a world of change. Rest now in this awareness. Let the Thoughts come without chasing them. Let the feelings arise without pushing them away. Simply be the space in which everything happens, the wide open sky through which all clouds pass. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. There is only this moment, stretching out in all directions, containing everything, needing nothing. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. There was a monastery where the monks observed a practice of noble silence. For 1 week each season, no one spoke. No words passed between them. No greetings in the morning. No discussions at meals. No questions or answers of any kind. Only silence. At first, new monks found this practice unbearable. They were accustomed to filling every moment with sound. Without words, they felt lost, disconnected, unsure of who they were. But by the 3rd or 4th day, something began to shift. The world grew louder in its quietude. They noticed the birdsong they had always ignored. They felt the texture of the wooden floors beneath their bare feet. They tasted their food more fully, without conversation to distract them. One monk, a man named Jiro, had a particular breakthrough during his first silent week. He had come to the monastery in grief, having lost his wife and child to illness. He had thrown himself into practice, trying to outrun his sorrow, trying to think his way to peace. During the silence, there was nowhere to run. His grief caught up with him. On the 4th night, he lay awake in his small room, feeling the weight of his loss more heavily than ever. Tears came. Sobs shook his body. He felt the whole world had been emptied of meaning, but there was no one to talk to, no one to ask for comfort, only the silence, vast and unyielding, and something in that silence held him. He could not explain it later. It was as if the stillness itself was a kind of presence, not judging, not trying to fix. Simply there, vast and patient, accepting his pain completely. By morning, something had changed. The grief was still there, but it no longer felt like an enemy. It felt like a natural part of him, the shadow side of love. He had loved deeply, and so he grieved deeply. The two could not be separated. He did not feel better in the usual sense, but he felt more whole, more real, as if a wall he had built around his heart had finally crumbled, and now he could feel everything, the joy and the sorrow, the beauty and the loss, all at once. When the silent week ended and words returned to the monastery, Jiro found he had less to say. Not because he was holding back, but because so much could not be put into words. The deepest truths lived in silence. The most profound healing happened in spaces between sounds. This teaching is for those who fear silence. We live in a world of constant noise. Voices, music, screens, notifications, an endless stream of sound filling every moment. And often we welcome this distraction. It keeps us from hearing what lies. Beneath the noise, there is something waiting, something wise and calm and endlessly patient. The silence is not empty. It is full of presence. It is full of peace. Tonight, as the world grows quiet around you, let yourself rest in that silence. Let it hold you the way it held Jiro. Let it receive your grief, your fear, your unspoken longings. You do not have to put anything into words. You do not have to understand. You simply have to be here, in the vast quiet, letting it work on you in its own way. The thoughts that rise are not you. They are clouds crossing the sky of awareness. Watch them pass. Do not chase them. Do not push them away. Simply notice and let go and return to the breath. Breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling, like the tide, like the seasons, like all things that come and go while something remains eternally still. There is a story of a master who was asked to define enlightenment. He thought for a long moment, and then he said a single word: attention. His student was confused. Is that all? Just attention? The master smiled. When you give your full attention to this moment, he said, you realize there is nothing missing. Everything you need is already here. Every answer you seek is present in the question. Enlightenment is not a distant achievement. It is simply this seeing, this being, this fully inhabiting the now. The student considered this. But I try to pay attention, he said, and still I suffer. The master nodded. You pay attention while holding on to hope for a result. You pay attention while comparing this moment to other moments. That is not full attention. That is divided attention. True attention has no goal. It does not want the moment to be different than it is. It simply receives what is present, completely. The student was quiet. He looked at the master, at the room around him, at the light falling through the window. He tried to see it all without wanting anything to change, and for just an instant he understood. The room seemed to glow. The silence seemed to hum with life. Everything was ordinary, and yet everything was miraculous. This was it. This was the whole teaching. The master saw the shift in his student's eyes. Now you know, he said softly. Now forget what you know and simply live it. Attention is the doorway. When we are truly here, when we are truly seeing and hearing and feeling what is actually present, we discover that peace was never absent. It was simply overlooked. We were so busy looking elsewhere that we missed what was right in front of us. Tonight, practice this simple attention. Feel the weight of your body on the bed. Notice the texture of the fabric beneath you. Hear the subtle sounds of the night, the hum of stillness, the rhythm of your own breath. This is it. This is your life. Not the life you imagine in the future, not the life you remember from the past. This life, here, now, in this very breath. And in this moment, there is peace. There always was. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. The hours have passed gently. The candle has nearly burned down to its end. Only a small flame remains, dancing quietly in the darkness. Soon it too will flicker and fade, and the room will be given over to shadow. But the darkness is not something to fear. It is rest. It is restoration. It is the night holding you while you sleep, the way a mother holds a child, the way the earth holds the seed before it sprouts. You have walked far tonight, through stories and teachings, through reflections and silence, and now the path grows softer, the trees thin, the air grows cool and calm. There is a final teaching to share before you sleep. It is perhaps the simplest of all. It is this: you are already home. All the seeking, all the striving, all the searching for peace and meaning and purpose, it was never really necessary. You were already where you needed to be. You were already who you needed to be. The journey was not about getting somewhere else. It was about realizing you never left. This is hard to accept. We are trained to believe we are incomplete. We are taught that we must earn our worthiness, achieve our peace, become something other than what we are. But it is not true. It was never true. You are already whole. The awareness that is reading these words, the presence that is feeling this breath, it lacks nothing. It needs nothing. It is complete in itself, perfect in its imperfection. exactly as it should be. All the struggles of your life have not diminished this truth. All the failures and losses and disappointments have not damaged your essential nature. You are like the sky, always vast and open and free, no matter how many storms pass through. Rest in this truth now. Rest in the knowledge of your own wholeness. You do not have to become anything tonight. You do not have to prove anything. You simply have to be here now, exactly as you are. The night is here. The breath moves on its own, and all is well. Let the last of the tension drain from your body. Let your eyes grow heavy behind their closed lids. Let your mind grow soft, like snow falling on the open ground. There are no more stories tonight. There are no more teachings. There is only this quiet, this rest, this gentle drifting towards sleep. The world will continue while you rest. The stars will turn in their ancient patterns. The wind will whisper through the trees. The rain will fall again, somewhere, on some roof, on some garden, on some face turned up to receive it, and you will be held by the night, held by the silence, held by the great mystery that underlies all things and asks nothing in return. You have done enough. You have been enough. You are enough. Sleep now. Let the dreams come if they will, or let them stay away. It does not matter. Either way, you are safe. Either way, you are held. Either way, there is peace. The candle finally flickers out. The room settles into darkness. And in that darkness, there is not absence but presence. Not emptiness but fullness. The fullness of rest. The fullness of surrender. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let go. There was a poet who lived alone on a mountainside. He had no possessions but his writing brush and a small hut made of bamboo and thatch. Every day he would walk through the forest, watching the light change, listening to the birds, feeling the wind on his face. In the evening he would return to his hut and write. Sometimes he wrote many pages. Sometimes he wrote only a single line. Sometimes he wrote nothing at all, simply sitting with his brush poised above the paper, waiting for words that never came. One night, a traveller lost his way and stumbled upon the poet's hut. He was cold and frightened, disoriented from hours of wandering in the darkness. The poet welcomed him in, built a small fire, offered what little food he had. As they sat together in the firelight, the traveller looked around the simple hut. "How can you live like this?" he asked. "You have nothing. No comforts, no security, no possessions to call your own." The poet smiled. He stirred the fire with a long stick, sending sparks up toward the smoke hole in the roof. "Tell me," he said gently, "what do I lack?" The traveller thought. "You have no bed," he said, "only a mat of straw, and yet I sleep deeply every night," the poet replied. "You have no furniture, no decorations, and yet I am surrounded by beauty. The mountains, the trees, the stars. You have no family, no one to share your life with, and yet I feel connected to all beings. The deer that visits at dawn, the owl that calls at dusk, the wind that keeps me company. Are they not family too?" The traveller was silent. He looked at the poet with new eyes. Despite having nothing, or perhaps because of it, this man seemed more at peace than anyone the traveller had ever met. "How do you do it?" he asked finally. "How do you stay so content?" The poet set down his stick and folded his hands in his lap. "I learned," he said, "that contentment is not about having more. It is about wanting less. Each time I released a desire, I gained a freedom. Each time I let go of something I thought I needed, I discovered I already had enough. He looked at the fire, at the simple walls of his hut, at the night pressing in all around. Most people, he continued, are always reaching for the next thing, the better job, the bigger house, the more impressive achievement. But each thing they grasp creates a new emptiness that needs to be filled. The reaching itself becomes the suffering. The traveller nodded slowly. He was beginning to understand. Here, said the poet, I have stopped reaching. I have learned to rest in what is, and in that resting I have found everything. Not out there in the world of things, but in here, in the heart that no longer grasps. The traveller stayed with the poet for 3 days. When he finally continued on his journey, he was a different man. He did not give away all his possessions or move to a mountain, but something had shifted inside him. He stopped reaching quite so desperately. He began to appreciate what he already had, and in that appreciation he found a peace he had never known before. This teaching is for all of us who live in a world of constant wanting. We are surrounded by messages telling us we need more things, more experiences, more success, more approval. The machinery of modern life runs on our dissatisfaction, but there is another way. Not denial, not austerity, simply the recognition that enough is already here, that we can stop running and rest in the simple sufficiency of this moment. That peace is not waiting at the end of some achievement. It is available now in the letting go. What would you let go of tonight, if you could? What desire weighs on you that you might release? Not forever, perhaps, but just for now, just for this restful hour. Let it fall away like a leaf from a tree. Let it drift to the ground and become part of the earth. You can pick it up again tomorrow if you still need it. But tonight, let yourself be empty of wanting. Let yourself be full of what is. The fire in the poet's hut has burned low. The traveller sleeps on the floor, wrapped in borrowed blankets, and the poet sits by the window, watching the stars wheel slowly across the sky. He does not write tonight. He does not need to. The poem of the world is already being written in the movement of the stars, in the breath of the sleeping traveller, in the quiet crackle of the dying fire. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. Let yourself drift now. Let the boundaries of your body grow soft and indistinct. Let the separation between you and the night begin to dissolve. There is no need to know where you end and the darkness begins. There is no need to maintain the fiction of a separate self, isolated and alone. You are not alone. You never were. You are part of everything. The same atoms that form your body formed the stars. The same energy that beats your heart beats at the center of the sun. You are woven into the fabric of existence so thoroughly that nothing could ever separate you. This truth is not a belief to be accepted. It is a reality to be felt. Feel it now. Feel the connection to all things. Feel the vast web of being that holds you and carries you and breathes through you. The night holds you. The earth holds you. The universe holds you in its infinite arms and will never let you fall. There is a monastery where the monks rise at 3 a.m. to begin their practice. In the darkness before dawn, they sit together in the meditation hall, facing the wall, breathing in unison. At first, the room is full of restlessness. Bodies shift, minds wander. But as the minutes pass, something begins to settle. The restlessness fades, the thoughts slow, and gradually a deep stillness descends on the room. The monks describe this stillness as like falling through space. At first, there is the sensation of movement, of falling, but gradually even that fades. There is no up or down. There is no falling or rising. There is only the vast open awareness in which all experience appears. One of the monks, a woman named Rin, spent 20 years reaching this stillness. When she was young, she would force herself to sit for hours, pushing through pain and distraction, fighting her own mind for control. But as she matured, she learned that fighting was not the way. The stillness could not be forced or achieved. It could only be allowed. It was already there, beneath all the noise and struggle. She just had to stop interfering. Now, when she sits in the meditation hall, there is no effort at all. She simply relaxes into what is already present. Like a leaf settling on a quiet pond, she comes to rest without force. And in that rest, she finds everything. Not visions or insights or special experiences. Just this, just the room, just the breath, just the infinite depth of ordinary existence. This is what awaits you in the stillness, not something spectacular, not something otherworldly. Just this, just what is already here, but seen freshly, felt fully, accepted completely. You do not have to spend 20 years in a monastery to taste this. You do not have to master any technique or attain any special state. You simply have to stop for a moment, let go for a moment, and notice what remains. What remains is always peace. What remains is always enough. The monks are sitting in the darkness. The stars are turning overhead. And somewhere, in some corner of the universe, you are lying in your bed, breathing, resting, drifting towards sleep. We are not so different, you and the monks. We are all seeking the same thing. We are all finding our way home. And home is not a place. It is a state of being. It is the recognition that we were never lost, never abandoned, never truly alone. Home is here. Home is now. Home is this breath, this moment, this gentle surrender to what is. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. There was an old gardener who spent his life tending the grounds of a great estate. For 50 years, he pruned the hedges, planted the flowers, raked the gravel paths until they were perfectly smooth. The garden was renowned throughout the land for its beauty and harmony. When the gardener grew too old to work, he spent his final days sitting on a bench in the garden he had created. He watched the younger workers tend the plants he had nurtured. He saw the seasons change, the leaves fall and return, the flowers bloom and fade. One day, a visitor came to the garden. She was a painter, seeking inspiration for her work. She sat down beside the old gardener and looked out at the tranquil scene. "This is the most beautiful garden I have ever seen," she said. "You must be very proud." The old gardener smiled, but his eyes held a gentle sadness. "Proud is not the word," he said. "Grateful, perhaps, but the beauty was never mine to claim." "What do you mean?" the painter asked. The gardener was quiet for a moment. He watched a butterfly drift past, landing briefly on a rose before continuing on its way. "When I was young," he said, "I thought I was the creator of this garden. I believed that through my will and effort I was shaping something beautiful. But the older I got, the more I realized I was not the creator. I was only the caretaker." The painter listened carefully. "The seeds knew how to grow," the gardener continued. "The rain knew how to fall. The sun knew how to shine. I simply removed the obstacles. I cleared away the weeds. I gave the plants room to become what they already were. He gestured at the garden around them. All this beauty was always here, in potential, in the seed, in the soil, in the dance of sun and rain and time. I did not create it. I only made space for it to emerge. The painter thought about her own work. She thought about all the time she had struggled to force a painting to be what she wanted, and all the times the best work had emerged when she simply got out of the way. "So the art is in the letting go?" she asked. The gardener nodded. "The art is in the partnership, in listening to what wants to emerge and helping it along, in trusting that the beauty is already there, waiting to unfold." He closed his eyes and leaned back on the bench, feeling the warmth of the sun on his old face. "That is what these 50 years have taught me," he said softly. "We are not the masters of life. We are its servants. And when we serve with love and attention, life reveals its beauty in ways we never could have planned. This teaching is for the night. It is for the gentle reminder that we do not have to control everything, that our lives, like gardens, have their own intelligence, their own pattern of growth. Our job is not to force outcomes, but to create conditions, to remove obstacles, to trust the process. What in your life is trying to emerge that you have been blocking? What beauty is waiting to unfold if you would only step aside and let it? These are not questions for the mind to answer tonight. Let them float through your awareness like clouds. Let them plant their own seeds in the darkness. In time, the answers will grow. For now, rest. For now, trust. For now, let go of the need to be in charge. The garden grows while the gardener sleeps. The flowers open in their own time. And all the while, something wise and patient is tending everything, including you. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. The night has grown very deep now. The stars have wheeled across the sky, and somewhere the first light of dawn is preparing to appear, though it is still hours away. You have been lying here, breathing, listening, resting. Perhaps you have drifted in and out of sleep. Perhaps you have remained on the edge of dreaming, suspended in that soft space between waking and rest. Either way is perfect. There is no wrong way to receive these teachings. They work on you whether you are conscious of them or not. They seep into the places where they are needed, like water finding its way through cracks in stone. There is a final story to share. It is a story about endings and beginnings, about the way all things circle back to their source. In a village by the sea, there lived a fisherman who had worked the waters his entire life. Every morning before dawn, he would launch his small boat and row out to where the fish gathered. Every evening, he would return with his catch, sell what he could, keep what he needed, and rest. He knew the tides and the seasons, the way the fish moved, the signs in the sky that predicted weather. The sea was his home more than the land ever was. As the fisherman grew old, his strength began to fade. He could no longer row as far or pull in the heavy nets. One day he realized that his time on the water was coming to an end. Instead of sorrow, he felt a strange peace. He had lived fully. He had done his work with love. Now it was time to rest. On his last day of fishing, he rowed out at dawn as he always had, but instead of seeking the fishing grounds, he let his boat drift. He lay back and looked up at the sky, feeling the gentle rock of the waves beneath him. He remembered his first time on the sea as a boy with his father. He remembered the storms he had weathered, the great catches, the empty days when nothing came. He remembered the face of his wife, long gone now, waving from the shore as he departed each morning. All of it felt complete. All of it had been enough. As the sun rose higher, the fisherman felt his body growing heavy. His breath slowed. His eyes began to close. And in that final drifting, he had a vision. He saw that his life was like a wave on the ocean. It had risen from the vast waters, travelled its course, and now was returning to its source. The wave was not being destroyed. It was going home. It was becoming again what it had always been: ocean. The fisherman smiled and let go. His boat drifted on the gentle swells, carrying him toward wherever boats go when they are no longer needed. Later, the villagers found his body, peaceful and still, lying in his boat with his hands crossed over his heart. They said he looked like a man who had fallen asleep in the arms of something he loved. They buried him on the hill overlooking the sea, where he could watch the waves forever. This story is not about death, it is about completion. It is about the peace that comes when we have lived fully and can release without regret. Every day is a small life, every night is a small death. We let go of consciousness, let go of control, let go of everything we think we are, and we trust that something will catch us. And it does. Every morning we wake renewed. Every morning we are born again. Tonight, practice this small death. Practice letting go of the day. Practice releasing the identity you have been carrying. You do not have to be anyone tonight. You do not have to maintain any image, any role, any self. Simply let it all fall away. Let yourself become no one, floating in the vast ocean of the night. Tomorrow you will arise and take up your life again. But tonight there is only rest, only release, only the gentle return to source. The night is here, the breath moves on its own, and all is well. Breathe in, breathe out, let the rhythm carry you. Each inhale is a small birth, each exhale is a small death, and in the space between, in the pause where nothing happens, there is a stillness that holds everything. Rest in that stillness now, rest in the space between breaths. There is nothing there but peace, nothing but the pure awareness that watches all things come and go. You are that awareness. You are not the thoughts that pass through it. You are not the feelings that rise and fall. You are the vast space in which all experience appears. You are the sky, not the clouds. This is what you are discovering tonight. This is what the teachings have been pointing to all along. Not a concept to understand, but a reality to rest in. Rest there now. Rest in what you truly are. The world will continue while you sleep. The stars will turn. The wind will blow. Life will unfold in all its beauty and sorrow and mystery. And you will be held through it all. Held by the night, held by the silence, held by the great mystery that underlies everything and asks nothing in return. You are loved, you are safe, you are home. Let the last remnants of tension drain away. Let your body become soft and heavy, sinking deeper into rest with each breath. Let your mind grow quiet, like a lake at twilight when the wind has died down and the surface becomes a perfect mirror. In that mirror, you can see the sky, you can see the stars, you can see the infinite depths of space stretching out beyond measure, and you are part of it all. You are not separate from this vastness. You are this vastness, looking at itself, wondering at itself, loving itself. This is the final teaching. This is the deepest truth. There is no separation. There is only one awareness, appearing as all things. The same consciousness that looks out through your eyes, looks out through every eye that has ever seen. The same presence that beats your heart beats at the heart of everything. You are not alone. You cannot be alone. Aloneness is an illusion, a misunderstanding. In reality, you are woven into the fabric of existence so completely that nothing could ever separate you from the whole. Rest in this unity now. Rest in the knowledge that you belong, that you have always belonged, that you will always belong. The night holds you. The universe holds you. Love holds you. And all is well. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. The words are fading now. The voice is growing quiet. Soon there will be only silence, only the gentle rhythm of your breath, only the vast darkness full of stars. Let the silence come. Let it wrap around you like a blanket. Let it sing to you its wordless song. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to understand. There is only this moment stretching out forever, containing everything, needing nothing. You have travelled far tonight, through stories and teachings, through reflections and silences, and now you have arrived where you always were, here, now, home. Sleep comes softly, like a dear friend you have been waiting for. It takes you by the hand and leads you into the deep places where healing happens, where the body restores itself, where the mind rests from its long labour. Go with it, trust it, let yourself be carried into the night. The candle has gone out, the rain has stopped, the world outside is quiet, and inside there is only peace, only the breath rising and falling, like the tide, like the seasons, like the turning of the great wheel that carries everything forward and never stops. Breathe in, breathe out, let go. And as the candle burns low, the world continues, quietly, without you needing to do a thing. You are safe, you are loved, you are whole. The night is here, the breath moves on its own, and all is well, all is well, all is well. Sleep now, rest now. Let the dreams come, or let them stay away. Either way, you are held. Either way, there is peace. The stories have been told, the teachings have been shared. Now there is only the great silence that holds all sound. Rest in that silence, rest in that peace, rest in the knowledge that you are exactly where you need to be. Tomorrow will come in its own time. The sun will rise, the world will wake, and you will meet it refreshed, renewed, ready for whatever it brings. But that is for tomorrow. Tonight there is only rest, only the soft darkness full of stars, only the breath moving on its own, only peace. In the old temple on the mountainside, a bell rings once at midnight. Its sound travels through the valleys and across the rice paddies and into the distant villages where people sleep in their small houses. They do not hear it consciously, but something in them receives it. Something deep in their dreaming minds notes the passing of the hour and continues on. The bell is ringing for you now, not literally perhaps, but in some way that words cannot capture. The universe is marking this moment, this breath, this rest, this gentle surrender to sleep. Receive the sound, let it pass through you, let it leave you cleaner than it found you. The monk who rings the bell is an old man now. He has been ringing it for 40 years, every night at midnight, without fail. His arm has grown tired, his eyes have dimmed, but still he rings, because the bell needs ringing, because the sound needs sending, because the sleepers need this small benediction whether they know it or not. He thinks of you sometimes, not you specifically, but all the people out there in the darkness, lying in their beds, seeking rest. sends his good wishes with the sound. He hopes it reaches them. He hopes it brings them peace. Tonight it reaches you. Tonight you receive this ancient gift, passed down through generations of midnight bell ringers, carried on the air, arriving exactly when it is needed. Rest now. The bell has rung. The hour has passed, and a new hour is beginning, an hour of deep sleep, of healing, of peace. Let yourself descend into it. Let yourself sink into the softness of the night. There is nothing to fear in the darkness. There is only rest, only restoration, only the quiet work of the body healing itself while the mind wanders in dreams. The thoughts that have been troubling you can wait until morning. The problems that seemed so urgent can rest for now. Nothing needs to be solved tonight. Nothing needs to be figured out. Only sleep, only peace, only the gentle rhythm of breathing. In ancient times, the wise ones taught that sleep was sacred. It was a time when the soul travelled to other realms, received teachings from the invisible world, and returned refreshed with wisdom it could not quite remember, but still carried in its depths. Perhaps tonight you will receive such teachings. Perhaps you will travel to places you cannot imagine and return with gifts you cannot name. Or perhaps you will simply rest, deeply and completely, and that will be enough. Either way, the journey is underway. The boat has left the shore. The waters of sleep are carrying you toward morning. Let them carry you. Trust them. They know where to go. The stars continue their slow dance across the sky. The earth continues its ancient turning. And you are part of it all, even in sleep, even in dreams, always connected, always held. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. And now, the struggle is over. The effort is complete. There is nothing left but rest. Rest now. Sleep now. Let the night do its work. Let the body soften and heal. Let the mind drift and wander. Let the soul journey wherever it needs to go. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. The night is here. The breath moves on its own. And all is well. All is well. All is well. The silence grows deeper now. The words themselves are fading, becoming softer, more distant, like a voice heard from the far end of a long hallway. Soon there will be no voice at all. Only the silence. Only the breath, only the vast peaceful darkness. Let it come. Welcome it. This is what you have been seeking all along. Not the teachings, though they were beautiful. Not the stories, though they were wise. But this stillness, this peace, this simple resting in what is. You have arrived. You are here. You are home. The journey is complete. Sleep now. Rest now, and when morning comes, you will wake refreshed, as if you have been held all night in gentle hands, because you have been. You are always held. There is no moment when you are not cradled in the arms of something vast and loving. Remember this. When you wake, remember this when the day brings its challenges. You are held. You are loved. You are never alone, but that is for tomorrow. Tonight there is only rest, only the soft breath moving in and out, only the great peace that passes all understanding. Sleep now, rest now, all is well, and as the last light fades, as the final words dissolve into silence, there remains only peace, only peace, only peace. The night holds you, the silence sings to you. The universe cradles you in its infinite arms, and you sleep, deeply, completely, at peace. The stories have all been told. The moon has crossed the sky. Somewhere a bird will soon begin its pre-dawn song, but that is still far away. For now there is only this quiet hour, this dark hour, this sacred time of rest. Let yourself settle even deeper. If there is any remaining tension in your body, let it drain away like water, finding its lowest point. Your muscles have no more work to do tonight. Your mind has no more problems to solve. Everything can wait. Everything can rest. The thoughts may still drift through, and that is fine. Let them come and go like fish swimming through dark water. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to engage. Simply notice them passing and let them go. There was once a teacher who compared the mind to a guest house. Thoughts and emotions of visitors, arriving unannounced, staying for a while, then moving on. A good host does not fight with the guests or try to force them to leave. A good host simply welcomes them, offers them tea, and lets them depart when they are ready. Be a good host tonight. Welcome whatever arises. Offer it the tea of your attention, and let it go when it chooses to leave. You do not need to be empty of thought. You only need to be spacious enough to hold whatever appears. This spaciousness is always available. It is not something you need to create or achieve. It is what you are. Beneath the busy surface of the mind, there is a vast stillness that is always present. Like the ocean beneath the waves, like the sky behind the clouds, it waits patiently for you to notice. You are noticing it now, perhaps just at the edges, perhaps just as a feeling of calm spreading through your body. That is enough. That is the beginning. Peace is not something we create. It is what remains when we stop struggling. The room is quiet. The world is quiet. Your breath continues its gentle rhythm, in and out, like the tide on a moonlit beach. There is a monastery in Japan where the monks practice a form of meditation called shikantasa. The word means just sitting. There is no technique, no method, no goal. The practitioner simply sits, aware, present, open to whatever arises. At first, this seems impossibly difficult. The mind wants something to do. It looks for a task, a focus, a purpose. But gradually, over years of practice, the monks discover that just sitting is not so difficult after all. It is the most natural thing in the world. It is what they have been doing all along, beneath all the striving and seeking. Just being, just existing, just allowing life to unfold. You are doing this now. You are just lying here, just breathing, just existing. There is no technique to master, no goal to achieve. You are simply present, resting in your own being. And in that simple presence, everything is already complete. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be taken away. You are whole, just as you are. This is the secret that all the teachings point to. This is what the masters have tried to communicate in their parables and poems. Not something complicated, not something distant. Just this, just the simple miracle of being here, alive, aware. Let yourself marvel at it for a moment. You are here. You exist. Consciousness is looking out through your eyes, feeling through your skin, hearing through your ears. After billions of years of cosmic evolution, after countless generations of life adapting and growing and changing, here you are, aware, present, miraculous. This is not a small thing. This is the greatest mystery of all, that there is something rather than nothing. That awareness exists at all, that you are here to experience this night, this rest, this peace. Let the wonder of it wash over you, not as an idea to think about, but as a feeling in your chest, a warmth spreading through your body. You are part of something vast and ancient and beautiful. You are an expression of the universe, come to know itself, and in this moment, the universe is resting. You are resting. Everything is at peace. The breath continues. The heart continues. The cells of your body continue their quiet work of renewal and repair. All of this happens without your effort. Life lives itself through you, and you are carried along like a leaf on a gentle stream. Trust the stream. Trust the life that carries you. It has been doing this since before you were born. It will continue doing it long after you are gone. Your only job is to allow it, to stop fighting and let yourself be carried. The night deepens, the silence grows, and somewhere in that silence you begin to disappear. Not in a frightening way, in a beautiful way. The boundaries that separate you from everything else begin to soften. The edges of your body blur into the darkness. The thoughts that seem so important dissolve into the quiet. What remains is not nothing. It is everything. It is the vast awareness that has no center, no boundary, no beginning or end. It is what you were before you were born. It is what you will be after you die. It is what you are right now, beneath all the stories you tell about yourself. Rest in this. Rest in what you truly are. Not a separate self struggling to survive, but a wave in the ocean of being, rising and falling, never separate from the whole. The stories have been told, the teachings have been shared, and now, beyond words, beyond understanding, there is only this silence, only this peace, only this gentle dissolving into the arms of the night. Let yourself go. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to fear. The darkness is not absence. It is presence without form. It is the source from which all things arise and to which all things return. You are returning now, not dying, just resting, not losing yourself, just remembering what you always were before you forgot. The monks in the mountain monasteries call this the Great Rest. It is what all practice points to, not some special experience, not some distant goal, but simply this: laying down the burden, releasing the struggle, sinking into the peace that was always here, waiting to be noticed. You have noticed it now. You have tasted it. And even when you wake tomorrow and take up the activities of daily life, something of this taste will remain. Something of this peace will stay with you. Because it is what you are, not what you achieve or attain, but what you are in your deepest nature. And once you know this, really know it, not as a concept, but as a lived reality, everything changes. The struggles continue, but they do not disturb you in the same way. The challenges arise, but you meet them from a place of stillness. This is the gift of the night. This is what sleep offers, if we are willing to receive it. A return to source, a remembering of wholeness, a deep, healing rest in the arms of being. Receive it now. Let it soak into every cell of your body. Let it settle into the deepest layers of your mind. You do not have to do anything. You only have to allow. Allow the peace. Allow the rest. Allow the silence to fill you like water filling an empty vessel, and sleep. Finally, completely, deeply sleep. The night will hold you. The stars will continue their slow wheeling. The world will go on, and you will rest. Tomorrow will come with its light and its activity. The sun will rise and you will wake. There will be things to do and people to see and challenges to meet. But that is for tomorrow. Tonight there is only this breath, only this peace, only this long, slow settling into the darkness. You are safe, you are loved, you are held. The night is here, the breath moves on its own, and all is well, all is well, all is well. The words are growing softer now. The voice is fading into the silence. Soon there will be nothing left but the quiet and the breath and the vast starlit darkness. Let it come. Welcome it. This is the rest you have been longing for. Not just tonight, but always. This deep, essential rest at the heart of being. This peace that passes understanding. You are home. You have always been home. The journey was never about arriving somewhere else. It was about realizing you never left. About waking up to where you already are. About resting, finally, in the truth of what you are. Rest now. Sleep now. The teaching is complete. The night is here. And all is well. All is well. All is well.